So today is a day where we're going to go to a protest. That is a right of ours as Americans. We have a right to peaceful protest. And when you protest, it's something that y'all do all the time, but you probably don't even know it. Like when we say it's bedtime. I don't want to go to bed. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. You make your frustrations known. When we first came down here, or we was first talking about moving to Virginia, you all protested, said that you didn't want to move, you know. And that's what we're basically going to do. But we're protesting against the systemic racism. Where basically there are things in place that have been set up by some white people so that black people cannot live a life that they want to live. So in some cases is where you don't want to, they don't want you to live in a nice neighborhood. They don't want you to drive a nice car. They don't want you to obtain wealth because they want it all for themselves. And they've used the police as a means to basically keep black people in check. I don't know if any of you have been watching the news, but recently there's been Ahmaud Arbery, there's been Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd. Have any of y'all heard those names?
No.
No?
Yep.
Well, the little ones I don't expect y'all to know because...
I know. I saw it. I saw that.
Jaden, you heard of them?
Me too.
So, I don't know if you've seen the videos, but basically, these people who are black, they were killed by police officers.
Or just white supremacists, because Ahmaud Arbery, they weren't police officers at the time.
Or people who feel like they have authority to do that.
Well, you can't be in my neighborhood.
And in order to keep black people in check, they're killing us. They're killing people that look like y'all, who have the same experiences as y'all. Hey, bud, I need you to pay attention to what I'm saying, okay? Do we think that is fair?
No.
What types of thoughts do you have when you hear about people who look like you being killed by the police?
It's scary. It's like, it's also makes me mad, like frustrating. It's like what's really happening. It continues to happen all the time. We have voices, but it seems like it's getting worse.
What do you think? Does it make you scared?
Yeah, but I have thoughts on it, but I don't really say that.
What about you?
It definitely makes me, watching the videos and stuff like that, I mean, I know racism has been here, you know, it's been here, but now that everything is being recorded, and, you know, every day it's something, every day there are a bunch of videos put out of things that are happening every day, and how, you know, we're trying to peacefully protest, and we're peacefully protesting, and they're just coming and, you know, and with a rampage and just hurting us, you know, like we don't have a right. It's like you don't have a right to protest, you know, and, you know, shame on you for protesting. You know, I feel like they're definitely trying to hold us back, and they're definitely trying to keep the minority back. And yes, it's hurtful, you know, but because, you know, I'm afraid for my family. you know. So when you go out, you know, that's why I'm harassing you every couple of minutes, hours, you know, just making sure you're okay. I just need a check-in. You know, especially right now because so much is going on. And, you know, it's been going on, but now the world is seeing. The world is seeing every day. And I want better for you guys. So, you know, texting numbers, if that, you know, signing petitions. I've been texting numbers and signing petitions and, you know, things of that nature so that, you know, my voice can be heard from here. Because I know out there, you know, things are going on at protests that I really don't want you guys involved in. But, you know, I feel like it will be safe for us. And if I feel like it will be safe for us, you know, we need to get our voices heard. We need to be out there doing work. And this is a crazy moment in history this year. With COVID-19, with race wars. This is crazy.
Like Mommy said, that, you know, racism isn't new. It's just being recorded. And only by the grace of God, we haven't really had to deal with it.
Besides that, remember that video we posted about racism?
I mean, someone driving
Yeah, we have
in a
black
road
stories.
rage, you know, and says something crazy. That's different. But, you know, you guys haven't been held back from anything because of the color of your skin. Everything that we have, we've been able to earn off of our talents and our work ethic. You know, and because of education, because of the gifts that God has given us, we've been able to put ourselves in a position to where we don't have to deal with it. Moving down here, you know, I figured, or I thought that, you know, like, I don't know. It was weird seeing cotton fields down here, and because in New Jersey we only read about cotton fields and the plantations and slavery, but you know, Virginia is one of the birthplaces of it. You know, this is where it all started. You know, and the fact that there are black people who were born in slavery, whose children grew up while they were slaves, who and their children were free, but still in the same place, and you know, and their children just like having to deal with that stigma. We don't know what it's like. We don't know what it's like. You know, living in New Jersey, somebody say something crazy to you, you could just, you know, you could just talk freely and do whatever you want, you know, to defend yourself or to clap back. But down here, it's a heavier price to pay. And now we're seeing all over the world those same stories, you know, where Emmett Till was something that was brought to public attention from the newspaper. People are putting this stuff on their phones and putting it on Snapchat and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. As soon as it's happening, like while it's happening, you can see it. And it's important for us who have been blessed and fortunate to not have to go through those things to use our voice, because if some white person just deems it necessary to take what we have, they would get support to do it. We don't want to operate out of fear, but you know, like, we just want to maintain. We don't want to cause people to look at us in a weird way or to judge us based off of, you know, something they might have seen on TV. Because black people are disproportionately just like shown in this negative light. We are one of the small, you know, we're a minority because it's majority white people who live in America. But, you know, if 50 black people, you know, shoplift, and 50 white people shoplift, what looks worse? They make it seem like the black people, or they make it seem like it's even, when it's not. Because there might only be 100 black people in that town. Half of them steal. That's a crazy number compared to if there were 1,000 white people in a town. 50% versus 5%. But even though it's the same number, it's not even. You understand what I'm saying? So it's important. This is why we have a YouTube channel. This is why we wanted you guys to get into entertainment. This is why we wanted y'all to, to make it big. One, to protect you. And of course, for you to, use your voice and to be those positive images. Be the role models. Be the example. So that's why we're going to this protest today. Raleigh's not feeling it.
No, he's trying to be heard.
He's using his voice.
Okay.
So, just have an open mind. They asked me to sing today. So, there's that. But just have in mind, like, we all need someone to speak up for us. And right now, we're speaking up for those who can't be heard. We're speaking up on behalf of those who weren't heard. And we're letting people know that they're not in this thing together. They're not in this thing by themselves. And we're all in this together. Could you imagine if a police officer just choked me out and killed me in the middle of the street when we got pulled over? How would y'all feel if, we've been pulled over in a van before? What if someone just killed me in a traffic stop because they thought I was a threat? And the only threat that I am to a white person or any person is for a job.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of work for everybody, so it's not really a threat. Or because they think that I'm not, my life is not worth living. I don't want us to live in fear because God has not given us the spirit of fear. So I don't want us walking, I don't want to live in a world where I gotta, look over my shoulder and, be constantly worried about whether or not you coming home. I refuse to live like that because that's not what God has called for us to do. But we do need to be cautious. And even though it's not fair, and even though it's not equal, we have to put ourselves in positions to where we can avoid it. That's why education is so important. That's why education is so important. Because if you're educated, then you can make money. If you can make money, then you can generate wealth. If you can generate wealth, you can surround yourself and be protected. But if all you're doing is just hanging around people who are up to no good, and there are people who do that. We're not saying that everybody who has been, we're not saying that black folks can't be arrested. Because if someone break in this house and they black, I want them to go to jail, white or black. If someone hits my car and tries to drive away, or if someone steals from us, if someone, Lord forbid, kills one of us, of course I want to see justice. But at the same time, I don't want to be presumed guilty just because I'm black. Because I can't change this, even if I wanted to. All right. So I love y'all, and we're going to show our love for people by going to this protest. All right. Anyone else have any thoughts or something that they want to say about like how it makes them feel?
What'd you say the other day to me? Mariana said, but I thought the police are supposed to protect us.
Well, how does it make you feel? There was a girl, her name is Brianna. Her name sounds a little bit like Ariana. But she was killed by the police, and she was just in her house.
In her bed.
In her bed, sleeping.
I would feel sad.
You would?
Mm-hmm. Me too. I would feel sad.
And the thing is, it's like, not only are the police killing these people, but they don't feel sorry for it. They get basically a pass. Some people even, are happy that they did it. So those are the things that we want to fight against. While we don't want to physically fight, unless, I have to, we're going to use our voice and our right to protest, to speak out against these things.